Hi, my name's Lizzie Bauer, and I'd like to begin by acknowledging that the lands I worked on and learned from in Gunnison County are the ancestral homelands of the Ute Mountain Ute tribe, and I'm grateful to be sharing space here today. And now I'd like to introduce you to the Crested Butte region of Gunnison National Forest's North District. The Crested Butte area is widely regarded as an outdoor recreator's paradise, with plenty of opportunities for hiking, biking, fly fishing, and much more in the high alpine environments of the West Elk Mountains of the Southern Rockies. Oh, you've heard of Crested Butte? Well, so has everyone else. Visitation to Gunnison County has more than doubled over the last decade, and the peak season of 2020 saw a historic increase in use, with some outdoor recreation destinations receiving more than a 250% increase in visitation from the year before. In order to mitigate growing impacts on the ground, Gunnison National Forest made a decision that would be instated in 2017 to reduce the dispersed camping policy to allow the establishment of campsites anywhere within 300 feet to just 30 feet of any numbered route. But by 2019, just 2 years later, it became obvious that further management would be necessary to preserve the natural quality of the landscapes, as recreators felled trees to make spaces for campsites, and scientific studies found increases of E. coli in the surrounding area's freshwater streams. Here you can see the progression of human impacts depicted in aerial imagery occurring over Musicians Camp, beginning in 2015. To the spur roads created in 2017, to the urban sprawl impacts of 2019. While damages on the landscape were accumulating rapidly, the Forest Service had little capacity to effectively address their growing ecological concerns. In the mid-1980s, Congress cut federal public land spending in half, and congressional appropriations to public lands agencies have never recovered. Meanwhile, an opposite trend can be seen in the growing popularity for outdoor recreation, as many parks in the United States have seen up to a 5-fold increase in visitation over the last few decades. This discrepancy between agency budgets and the demand on resources often means land managers must make sacrifices to prioritize urgent needs. Though it could take years or even decades for Congress to agree on taking actions to mitigate the dramatic changes happening on a local level, there are a few tools available to public lands agencies wanting to make more immediate decisions on their landscapes. With a unanimous recommendation from Gunnison County's Sustainable Tourism and Outdoor Recreation Committee, or STORE, the Forest Service began the process of transitioning dispersed camping areas to designated camping only in the Crested Butte region of the Gunnison Ranger District. Fellow MEM student and now alumnus Jennifer Fenwick was brought onto the project in the summer of 2019 to inventory all established camping footprints in the identified planning areas. In the summer and fall of 2020, Fenwick mapped all proposed sustainable campsite footprints that would later be transitioned into designated campsites for the Gunnison National Forest's 2019 Crested Butte Area Designated Camping Decision. Another MEM student, Nick Kapmer, was recruited to the project in the spring of 2020 to lead the Crested Butte Conservation Corps trail crew that began installing the required infrastructure to designate sites and implement a FLURIA fee. Kapmer and the CBCC will continue amenity installments and infrastructure and restoration developments at least through the fall of 2022. To support the ongoing maintenance and servicing of infrastructure that would reduce visitor impacts on the ground, the Forest Service also explored the option of implementing a user-pay recreation fee in conjunction with the transition to designate camping and the infrastructure developments of certain high-volume day-use areas in the region. In a coordinated effort with STORE, Western Colorado University's Center for Public Lands, and the U.S. Forest Service, I received a fellowship in the fall of 2019 to further research and develop the potential for implementing a recreational fee in Gunnison National Forest's North District. Knowing that introducing a pay-for-play user fee would be controversial, Gunnison District Ranger Matt McCombs wanted to ensure this proposal was developed with community support. Through the summer and fall of 2020, I facilitated a series of meetings with a small group of store committee members to determine what key elements would go into the fee proposal plan. Over the course of several months, the store subcommittee came to a consensus on a number of items, such as to recommend the Forest Service use the Federal Lands Recreation Enhancement Act, or FLREA, to introduce a recreation fee, since using FLREA would keep more than 95% of revenues collected on site for local area projects and improvements, among other public benefits. The subcommittee also agreed on a fee for overnight camping and day use areas that they believed would be considered a reasonable user fee by the general public. The fee schedule agreed on was $10 per night per site for campsites outside of a walking distance of pit toilets and $15 per night per site for campsites within a reasonable walking distance of a toilet facility, along with a $5 per vehicle per day charge for day use areas and a $20 per vehicle charge for annual day use passes. The subcommittee also strongly recommended that litter and human waste be considered the top management priorities in the North District of Gunnison National Forest, and therefore trash collection and maintaining pit toilets were absolute necessities to be included in the fee proposal plan. In the winter of 2020 and 2021, I wrote the FLREA fee proposal for overnight camping and day use areas for the Crested Butte region of the Gunnison National Forest. I also received a grant from the Haley Environmental Project Fund to support the public participation sessions and outreach materials required to implement a FLREA fee. However, by mid-February of 2021, project partners received news that the Rocky Mountain Region 2 office believed they should delay review of the FLREA fee proposals until all of the amenities were installed at each recreational site, which could take up to 5 or 6 years to complete. In the interim, I'm continuing to assist Gunnison National Forest in developing other alternative management plans that might best conserve the ecosystems of these recreation hotspots through the coming years. Together, we're exploring options for creating an innovative concessionaire permit that would further support the Forest Service stewardship goals through community partnerships rather than contracting out to for-profit private entities. I will continue to work with Gunnison County, the Forest Service, and Western Center for Public Lands through the summer of 2021 to ensure these recreation areas have an appropriate management plan that will protect their natural resources for generations to come. This project was developed through the continued support of several competent advisors, community partners, and volunteers. I want to especially thank Gunnison District Ranger Matt McCombs and Recreation Manager Aaron Drendel, as well as faculty advisors Sally Thode, Dr. Melanie Armstrong, and Maddie Wren for their help in the development of this project. I also want to thank the store subcommittee members Chris Parmeter, Kim Shaper, Dave Ox, Christy Murphy, and Joe Lavarini for their guidance and insights along the way. And I would like to thank the Haley Environmental Project Fund, Break the Glass LLC, and Abby Rieo for their support in funding and consultation in developing the community engagement products for this project. I learned so much about agency procedure and FLREA fee proposals through the insights and guidance of those who came before me. If there's anyone in the audience who has questions about how the proposal was developed or would like to know more about FLREA or concessionaire fee proposals, please feel free to contact me at lizzyb.3rivers@gmail.com. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed the show today.